Hi, it's Diana Lidstone, the Entrepreneur's GPS. Today we're going to talk about this Growmeter over here, this thing that actually looks like a thermometer. And what we're going to talk about are the 4 stages of business growth and what you need at each stage. So what you need in terms of resources, what you need in terms of your core offer, what you need in terms of strategic mindset skills. And then I'm going to point out some very common mistakes that people make. Why are we doing this? Because when you understand this, you will easily understand where you need to spend your time depending on what stage of business growth you're in. And so you're not wasting your time on things that aren't appropriate for your stage of growth. Okay? All right. Now, don't worry about taking tons and tons of notes. Before you go on, you might want to download, there is a cheat sheet, which kind of looks like this, which has the 4 stages. We aren't going to cover everything on the cheat sheet because there's a ton of information here. But I just want to give you an overview so that you understand where to focus your attention and your time. Good? All right, let's go. So 4 stages of business growth. And people call them different things, but here we are. I call this the first stage, the glorified employee, then we have manager, then we have CEO, and then we have legacy. To be truthful, not a lot of you even want to get up here. It's very rare that people get to the legacy level. So we're not going to be spending a lot of time here. We are going to be spending a lot of time at these 2 levels here, because that's where we're spending a lot of time, right? Okay, so when we start out in our business down here, okay, I call this the glorified employee. This is the stage where you're earning, if you're a coach or a consultant, and you don't have a lot of other consultants that you're paying, you don't have a lot of inventory, then you're probably earning, before you shift to the next level, somewhere in the $60,000, $75,000 range, okay? Your focus here are 3 things when you're in this stage. Cash, so getting clients, connections, and clarity, all right? So cash, connections, and clarity. Now, what you need at this level in terms of resources, all right? You need coaching and training. Now, you might say, but Diana, I went out and I got my bookkeeping certification, or Diana, I went out and got my life coach certification. But let me ask you, how much did they teach you about running a business? What did they teach you about packaging? What did they teach you about marketing? What did they teach you about sales? Right? So these are the kinds of things that you're going to need coaching and training on. As you move closer to this line, you're probably also going to need a virtual assistant. And virtual assistants are amazing because you can buy a group of hours and you can have them work on different projects that you might be wasting your time on. So maybe you're not a technical person and, getting MailChimp ready is just way beyond what you want. Well, a virtual assistant can do in an hour or 2, so maybe $20, $40, what it would take you all day to figure out. Okay, so a virtual assistant. You might need a web designer, right? You might need a web designer to get your first website up and running. And maybe you need a graphic designer. But you don't need them full time, they're just part of your team. Now, at this level here, we are only going to focus on very simple core offers. You're going to focus on one-to-one clients, getting 1 client at a time, working with 1 client. You're going to work on what I call your premium signature program. So that's a program that you put all your genius into, and it is 1 offering. That's right. It's not 10 different workshops. It's 1 offering. And that's what I teach you in my program, the Achievers Club. okay, is how to put together this premium signature program so that you are paid your value and you're not hopping from consultation to consultation. You have somebody that might be paying you anywhere from $2,000, $3,000, $5,000, even $10,000. And it's over several months so that you have this continuous income coming in. And you're going, yes, but Diana, how can I get somebody to pay me that much money for a program when I'm having trouble selling single sessions? Well, the key here is that a premium signature program allows your clients to see the value in what you're offering. And it is a very specific way of putting together this program that shows them the value. And when they see the value, they're eager for the solution, okay? So that's one core offering. A second one is you might have a downsell to that premium signature offer. So let's say your premium signature program is, I don't know, we'll say $5,000. And somebody might go, ooh, that's a lot. I don't really know you. So think of Baskin Robbins. You know, when you go to that ice cream store, they say, well, you know, would you like to try it? Actually, I went in a restaurant the other day and I wasn't sure about the wine, the house wine, and they said, would you like to try it? And I went, yes, I would. So your downsell is that little pink spoon that Baskin Robbins offers, okay? And that's what I'll teach you how to create. You also need what's known as a freebie. What is a freebie? A freebie is a free gift that you give someone, typically where they can get instantaneous or instant gratification. So it will help them solve a problem very quickly. So it might be a checklist, a video, that sort of thing. Okay, why is that important? That is important for two reasons. As you're going out, and in this level here, you're going to focus on networking as your strategic skill. And when you go to networking, it's really nice to be able to follow up with someone and give them something of value. A checklist, a video, it's educational. You're able to give them that, and it's a great way to follow up. The second is that this freebie is something that you want to put on your very simple website so that you will capture their contact information so that you can nurture them along, so that you can cultivate them along, and so they might become eventually your client. Okay, so freebies are really important. So those are the core offers that you need. Now, skills. You need to know how to put together your premium signature offer, right? You need to know how to network. You need to know how to follow up. You need to know how to do sales conversations. You need a systematic way of doing sales conversations. And you need to have very basic messaging, right? When you go to a networking event, you need to know who your ideal client is, what problem you solve for them, and how you can help them. You need that very basic messaging. And that's what you're learning in Marketing Magic, is that basic messaging. Okay, so does that cover the basic skills that you need? Those are strategic skills. Now, what about mindset skills? Because here's the thing. You can have the best strategic skills in the world, but if your mind isn't in the right place, then those strategic skills get stopped, right? So what do you need to, in terms of mindset? You need to know, you need to be in the right place to be able to charge what you're worth. And so many of us undervalue our genius. We don't give ourselves the credit for what we know. Okay, so charging what you're worth is a huge mindset shift that a lot of people need to make. You need to become visible. A lot of entrepreneurs go, well, I don't want to do Facebook, or I don't want to do this, or I don't want to do that because I don't want to be visible. Well, I'm sorry, but in order for your prospects to find you, you need to be visible. So you need to have a mindset shift about that. You need to have a mindset shift about sharing your message and being proud and confident to share that message. And here's a big one. When it comes to sales, you need to be able to ask your prospect to work with you. Okay? People give sales a bad rap, but here's the truth. You've been selling all your life. If you're a mom with children, you sell every single day. If you're a wife, I bet there's at least once a week that you sell something to your husband. Just think about that. All right. And you need to know how to manage your time, and learning which activities to focus on at each level is one way to learn to manage your time. Now, I also want to share with you some common mistakes. The common mistakes is when I see people dabbling at different levels, the activities at different levels, because they think they need to be up here. So an example, a few years ago, I met this lady at a networking, and she was telling me how she had published a book, and I was really impressed. Now, publishing a book is, something that you might do up here. It's definitely not something you do at this level when you're starting out. And so anyway, we had coffee later. We took the conversation to another level, and I found out she had no clients. And I went, in the back of my mind, I'm going, what did she write a book? She wrote a book because it was at this level, and somebody said to her, it's the way to get visibility. No, I'm afraid not, right? You need to have your message clear. You need to know what problem you can solve for people. You need to have some sort of email list. You need to have some contacts before you go out and write a book, because who are you going to sell it to? Right? All right, that's one mistake. Busyness is another common mistake. Busy, busy, busy. It's like a badge of honor that some people wear. I see people going from networking to networking to networking and never getting a client. That is busyness. You need to figure out here who your dream client is, where they're hanging out, and how you can help them. And then maybe you go to a networking and you go, maybe not so much. Then you can try another group and another group. This area here, the glorified employee, this is all about testing. And testing and research. And, I tell my clients that all the time, and they go, Dad, but when am I going to stop testing and researching? Never. It's just part of the journey, believe me. And another thing, that people do a common mistake is, and this is for everyone, it doesn't necessarily mean at this level, but we go down some rabbit holes sometimes, right? So social media can become a rabbit hole. Doing free, signing up for free webinars, that can be a rabbit hole that we dive deep into. And it's a waste of time. Because what happens is we go from free to free to free, and we are missing an overall strategic roadmap. And, we listen to one guru and we think that's it, or we listen to another guru and we just take little snippets, but we don't have an overall strategic plan. So at the glorified employee level, it's really easy to get caught up in things. This is where we really have this cash flow roller coaster. It's often frustrating and overwhelming because there's so much to learn. I get it. I just want to share quickly things that you don't need when you're starting out. A 5-page website, Facebook ads, blog posts, podcasts, webinars, major products, joint ventures, paid social media, hiring staff, creating products, writing books, group programs, online programs, paid traffic, hosting large events, yada, yada, yada. You don't need it. You have enough at this level to worry about by getting your basic messaging right, creating your signature program, and going out and selling it one-to-one. Now, how do you know when it's ready to move up to the next level? Well, your income starts to shift, right? So at the manager level, you're, usually making somewhere between the 75 to 200, but you can tell when your agenda is getting packed with one-on-one clients. Okay, and you have no more room to take on one-on-one clients. That's when you move up to the manager level, stage 2. Now, stage 2, in order to make more money, if your agenda is full of one-on-one clients who are taking your premium signature offer, not who are going one consultation to another consultation, okay? So at the manager level, you need to focus on creating more time for yourself, basically. So this is when we shift to leveraging, the 3 things: leveraging, delegating, and systems. So leveraging, examples, what I mean by that are, maybe it's time to create a group program. Maybe now it's time to think about, instead of going just to networking, how can I leverage my time? You can speak at networking so that you get to speak to all the people there and they get to see you as an authority. Delegating, so you're going to delegate more and more to your virtual assistant, and you're going to create systems. So let me talk about the resources that you need here. You still need the coaching and training, right? As you're moving up here, how do you create that talk? That signature talk that is not just going to get you compliments or applause, but it's actually going to turn into cash or clients, right? So that's where you'll need some help here. Probably you'll need some help with accountability. Your bookkeeper, you might have a video editor, you might have a content editor. So where are you focusing your time? At this level, you're focusing your time. 50% of your time is still on these types of activities, but you're spending 30% of your time on those new marketing skills, such as speaking. Okay? All right. What are your core offerings? You're going to create a leverage group program. You're still have your premium signature program, but you're just going to shift that into a group. You're going to have a freebie and a downsell. Okay? Not a lot changes. You're just adding that group program. Now with technology today, that group program can be on Zoom. It doesn't have to be in a physical location. All right, let's talk about what strategic skills you need at the manager level. You're going to, as I said, speaking is going to be something that you're going to need to master. Now, speaking has many forms, and I don't necessarily mean speaking on stages of thousands of people. I mean speaking in your own backyard, speaking at networking, speaking on podcasts, being interviewed, going to networking and asking for speaking opportunities. Okay? So you're going to need to create your signature talk. You're going to need to get out there and try it, tweak it, right? Maybe you're going to start doing video. Maybe it's YouTube, maybe it's Facebook Live. Maybe you're a podcaster, but you're going to add more marketing skills in here. You're going to really hone in on your follow-up skills. And maybe your messaging is going to tweak it a bit more. Maybe you're going to narrow your niche even more. I know it's hard, seems hard, but yes, it's true. And you're going to focus a little more on systems like list building and that sort of thing. Okay? So, mindset skills. Again, here it's all about being visible, but stepping out there and being visible with your message. Getting a little more comfortable with technology and delegating. Ooh, that's such a big one for entrepreneurs. It's really tough sometimes to have that mindset shift because we've grown this business from way down here, and it's our baby. And so we are reluctant to delegate, but you're not going to move your business forward until you do. Charging what you're worth. Again, as we go up here, maybe your signature program, maybe a couple of years ago it was $2,000, now it's $5,000. If you haven't raised your rates in the last year, Time for you to look at it again. And yes, you've probably said, but Diana, that's a mindset shift. Okay? All right. Common mistakes, right? We don't want to delegate. We think we can do it faster ourselves. Not true. We've got to learn to delegate. And very often as we move up here, we start falling back into this mode, right? The employee mode, the activities that are down here, instead of delegating, instead of leveraging, and instead of creating systems, right? Here, we really need to start thinking about creating hiring. How are we going to hire people? Because as we move up here, our team starts building and growing. So that's another skill that you're going to have to learn. Maybe it's starting, as you move up here, is it an online course? But if you start an online course without a sufficient email list, sometimes that can run you into problems. So, one of the systems that I say to focus on here is really about building your email list. Okay, people that know, like you, and then you want to move them closer to that trust. All right. And another mistake that often happens here at the manager level is going too fast without the systems that you have in place. Okay, so those are the main two levels where most of you are going to go. Now, I'm just going to talk about the CEO level because strategically, I'd like you to start thinking like a CEO. I'd like you to imagine that you're wearing a hat. And right now, when you're down here, you're wearing that passion hat. You're wearing the hat that says, I'm so passionate about this, I want to get it out there. Now, I want you to take off that passion hat. And there's another hat sitting beside you, and it's called the CEO hat. And I want you to pick that hat up and put it on. Because a CEO looks at their business from a different perspective. So let's see how they look, okay? All right, so a CEO at this level, they're probably making, 200,000 to $500,000 or so. These are ballpark. But they still, CEOs recognize they're not experts at everything. And so they still have coaching and training. They have a team that manages email management. They have a project manager, a VA or customer support, maybe a copywriter, maybe a web designer, right? They spend 25% of their time managing their team. Another 25% guiding the business, being the CEO, being the visionary. Another 25% of the time on marketing and content. And another 25% when you're up here, only 25% of your time is spent on client fulfillment. So, wearing your CEO hat when you're at this level, okay, I want you to think about how you're going to be building a team. You shouldn't be spending all your time on client fulfillment. You should be spending, as we are down here, the majority of your time on marketing, creating that engine that drives clients to you. Okay, so at the CEO level, your core offerings are probably some sort of scalable program. So it could be that you have another coach that helps you. It could be that it's a program that you offer multiple times throughout the year. It's online, it's scalable, all right? It doesn't involve a lot of your time. This is where Facebook ads and monetizing offers come. And this is where you probably would have multiple freebies, okay? So as you move from the manager up to the CEO, multiple freebies. Okay, strategic skills. Again, it's delegating. Delegating, hiring, creating copy, copywriting, managing associates, sales funnel, marketing funnel mastery, video mastery, real mastery, webinar mastery, list building, Facebook ads again. Now, certainly you are going to have team members that are going to do a lot of this, but you, right, are the CEO. You oversee what they do. So you still need to know how it works, basically. You just don't need to do the actual work, right? So it's a shift from here you are actually doing the work to who can do the work. Big difference, right? Okay, mindset. There is a huge mindset shift that needs to happen as a CEO, right? You got to wear that CEO hat. You've got to be leveraging the talents of others. You've got to be the visionary, the long-term visionary. You've got to be looking at, is it profit or is it revenue? And the more I talk to people as we go up through here, it's about profit. How can we create a predictably profitable business? And it's about managing time, and it's about connecting with people. It's not your job as a CEO necessarily to do the sales, but it's connecting with people. All right, common mistakes. Common mistakes as people move up the thermometer here is about playing small. And what do I mean by playing small? Is that we don't see our own genius, and we tend to undervalue ourselves and think small. So for instance, let's say a wellness coach who starts down here and moves up, they get to sort of this manager level and they can't see a bigger version of themselves. So that's what I mean by playing small. They tend to, very often a common mistake is that they tend to come down to these levels and start micromanaging the team. Not so much. You can't micromanage your team. You have to learn to hire good people because you've created this culture. Excuse me. This business culture. And so you want people at the CEO level, you have a culture, you have a team now, and you want a culture for that team. And big mistakes that we see in between here is that CEOs lack leadership skills. So remember, we're talking about needing coaching and training as we move along. Leadership skills. How do we lead our team, right? And so we'll often see that in practitioners. So let's take an example, maybe a chiropractor who has worked, all the way up here. And now at the CEO level, he has a team. He's trained as a chiropractor, or you're trained as a life coach. You're not trained as a leader for those team members in your business. And so that's where a CEO needs some help with leading their team. Okay? All right. Last but not least, we have the legacy level. And at legacy, this is where people are focused on diversity, movement, and watching their competition. So an example at legacy level is there's quite a famous, actually, business coach in the States who has a multi-million-dollar business, but she is diversified. She's gone through all of these stages. She has associate coaches, but she also has diversification. So she started doing live events, so she created an event company. She started doing videos. She has a video company. What else does she have? And her coaching company. So she has diversified, right? But she still has to watch the competition so that she doesn't become obsolete. Like, Netflix took over and made blockbuster videos obsolete. So we have to be careful of those things. So I'm just going to get rid of this. Here we are. Okay, those are the 4 stages of business growth, and I hope they've helped you clarify where you need to be spending your time, right? As we said, just a quick review. When you're down at this level, you need to spend 50% of your time on revenue generating activities. That's right. Things that get you closer to a sale. So not the busy work. 30% of your time learning new marketing skills, like learning how to network, learning how to follow up, learning how to gather testimonials. And 20% of your time on other skills that you need to learn, right? Then we move up to, sorry, that was for the manager level. Let me repeat that. So let's go back. At the glorified employee, you need to spend 75% of your time about your core skills. So creating that premium signature offer, learning how to put together a freebie, downsells, learning your basic messaging. That's where you need to spend 75% of your time, okay? Then when you move up to the manager level, that's where you need to spend your time. 50% of it still on these skills, but then you're adding 30% on new marketing skills, which we talked about, which was speaking, and 20% on new skills, which could be delegating and systems. Okay? All right, I hope this has been helpful. I know that it has for many, many of my clients and those who have watched this video or have watched me do it live at various networking events. So take care. We will see you soon. Bye for now.